Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back with Timeless Closets and Cabinetry. So excited. Wendy Scott's here joining the show. And today we're going to do a 2025 Mansion in May preview. What's that all about? Well, of course, Wendy will fill us in, and we have some special guests to meet as well. First and foremost, Wendy Scott, welcome back. How are you today?
We're doing great, Jill. Thank you so much for having us back. And we have some fabulous guests. If you look through my old podcast, you'll see where we talked about the Mansion in May. And it is an amazing event that happens every 2 years. And we are right smack in the middle of it. And we have today Mary and Barbara, who we're going to let you introduce who you are and what you do for the Mansion in May.
Hi, I'm Mary Quartermanch. I'm one of the co-chairs for Mansion in May. And Mansion in May is the signature fundraiser for the Women's Association for Morristown Medical Center. The mission for the Women's Association is to raise funds for the hospital as well as doing healing services. So clearly Mansion in May is our signature fundraiser. And in the past 50 years, we've raised over $14 million for the hospital from Mansion in May. And the Women's Association itself has raised over $30 million for the hospital.
Wow, impressive. And hi, Barbara. Please introduce yourself as well.
I'm Ruane. I'm the other co-chair for Mansion in May 2025 at Wildfair in the lovely town of Chester Township. We have a beautiful estate. It's been there for 220 years. It sits on 55 different acres. It has 38 interior design spaces and 17 landscape spaces, and we're hoping everyone will come out and visit us during the month of May.
I got to ask, how did you find the mansion to begin with?
We found the mansion through our mansion search committee, who keeps their eyes open all the time, ears listening, to find houses that have historical significance, that are either for sale or have an owner who is interested in philanthropy and wants to help the hospital. So we have connections with realtors and people who know us and also know what we're looking for. This current mansion we found because the owner of this mansion, the Epifano family, knows the owner of the past mansion, Three Fields, Pete Forenza. And while we were at Three Fields, the Epifanos and Pete Forenza spoke about the experience at Three Fields, and the Epifanos became interested. And there you go.
Beautiful. Now, Wendy, I know you were involved with this. I saw your work last year. Isn't the backdrop behind you from when you participated last year or 2 years ago?
Yes. So this was from the Wildfair 2 years ago. And I had the ladies' dressing room. This particular closet did get to stay behind. It doesn't always happen, but we were lucky enough for this one to stay behind for the new owners. And so it's a process. The ladies start looking for homes typically a year in advance, and then designers are invited into the home in early fall. I want to say September is about when we get to come through. We tour the place in its raw form, and then we will come up with a concept and a storyboard of what we want to do in each room. This year I'm doing a country cloffice. So it's half closet, half office, and kind of a little homage to the fox hunt, which is very well known in the area down there.
Beautiful. And let me just ask, so we're talking about dozens and more than dozens, interior designers, landscape designers. How many people get involved? And, you get assigned a room or a section of the home to work on, right? Can you just explain that?
Barbara?
Barb, go ahead.
Oh, okay. We have, we go through the house first and designate how many spaces we have. It depends on the size of the mansion. This mansion, we have 38 spaces. So we go out and we ask designers to come back in with their boards in September and show us, if you had this space, what would you do with it? And we pick designers based on those boards, and we try to fill in where they want, but often the same designers want the same room. So sometimes we have to bargain and compromise later to get each one of our interior spaces filled by a designer. And we
As
tell them
well as landscapes. You do that as well.
as well
Landscape
as
designers, that's a whole nother
that's
section.
correct.
Yes.
That's correct. Well, that's what makes our home unique too, because often designer show houses are only the interior. In our case, we have an exterior spaces. In this case, we have 17. So it makes it quite lovely, and it appeals to a lot of men too.
I think that's a good way to end it. But go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's not just rooms either. There'll be a foyer, it'll be a hallway. There's different little areas that you can do as a designer. So
Oh,
it's
you mean
pretty
like
much,
closets?
well, I mean, the closet, listen, it's only a closet, but it is, but there are other areas, and there's, people bringing in artwork that go throughout the hallway. So there's a lot that you can see for the entire home inside and out.
Right.
Beautiful. Well, thank you again, ladies, for joining us, and looking forward to the next time we connect. Let's not forget Timeless Closets and Cabinetry. Tell us your website, and then how do we get in touch with the ladies?
Timeless Closets and Cabinetry for all of my social media platforms, and the ladies are at
mansioninmay.org.
Or on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
And what about the Women's Association website?
And the Women's Association for Morristown Medical Center. You can find us on our website at wammc.org. Also on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
So the mansion has, so they were talking about how there's always a bunch of different chairs and all the different things that go into a mansion. Are either of you able to tell about the process of finding the house?
Sure. We have a mansion search committee who is always on the lookout, always keeping their eyes open, probably even right now while we're in the thick of it. So they will look around. They have connections with realtors. They have connections with Barry Thompson, our historian, who's written a few books about the area. So he knows some of the more historic homes in the area. And it just is a lot of times word of mouth or something, that a house that's been on the mansion search's radar for a while, and they finally realize, ooh, wait, it's for sale, or the ownership is changing, whatever. It's hard to describe because it's just kind of very organic. It just sort of happens. This particular mansion, our owners, the Epifanos, knew the owner of Three Fields, and they had spoken about the process at Three Fields. And so the Epifano family became interested in doing Mansion in May at Wildfair.
So to explain, Barbara, to Jill, what happens to the family in the home? They basically can you describe what the process is for the home on the homeowner side?
Sure. Generally, the home is vacant from January of the year we do the mansion, because in January is when the designers move into the house to start their work on their rooms. So it would be almost impossible to have anybody living in the house. We're lucky with this house in that the Epifanos had just purchased it and had not yet moved in. They were still in their old house. So they were happy to philanthropically lease it to us for the mansion.
And then they get it back second week in June? Is that?
They do. June 16th, they'll move back in, and we are all out by then. Everything has moved out. So we have general admission tickets, which allows you to come into the mansion and see it, tour the landscaping. Then you could go to lunch in our barn bistro, and you could shop at our boutiques and really take a look at this beautiful estate on 55 acres. In May, the price goes to $55. It's currently $50. So we're encouraging people to purchase their tickets before May 1. But in addition, if you want a more intimate look at the mansion, you can purchase private tour tickets. We have them for the morning, 4 mornings a week, and we have them for the evening, two evenings a week. And with that, if you purchase a morning tour, it's $125, and you also get a box lunch. So a lot of women get together and come with their friends for those. They form a group of 10 so that they have the private guide all to themselves, and they spend the day with us. In the evenings, it's not quite as expensive because we don't give a box lunch. We're hoping that you and your friends, when you come for the evening and tour the mansion, you'll then participate in one of the very fine restaurants, either in Mendham or Mendham or Chester. Then in addition, we have some special events. We have a preview party on April
26th.
26th, and this is first view of the mansion. This is a pretty exciting party. You have a first view at the mansion, and then you go over to the Barn Bistro in 10, and we have a cocktail party with music. We also have a tea, which is in the afternoon of May 8th, I think.
7th.
May 7th. We have Tom Salaki of Square Acres Landscaping, and he's going to do a lecture on sustainable gardening. And at that lecture, we'll have tea and tea sandwiches and scones. And then we also have Motown at the mansion, May 10th, a Saturday evening, where you'll tour the mansion, you'll tour the gardens, go back to the barn. We'll have a sit-down dinner, and then we'll start to dance to Motown.
Oh,
So we
my
have a lot
goodness.
of different events that people can attend.
Well, I checked out your social media pages before. It was Instagram, and I think that's a preview of that is the mansion that's up there right now. It looks like we had the drone
Yes.
shots of it. I could see. I think
Mhm.
Premier Pools. By the way, Premier Pools did my pool. It looks like they're a sponsor for you all as well. But
Yeah.
that house is insanely beautiful, and I'm looking at all the work that's going into it, and with the landscaping, the designers, the building. I mean, it is just spectacular. I wish we could. Oh my gosh, I wish we could see it. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
You can see teaser shots by all the designers throughout, but no full shot of the room.
Yes,
And
exactly.
it will be once you hit June 1st, then everybody can put their photos and videos up. Just to segue off of two things that Barbara said is one is about this, they have the shops at the end, but one of the really cool things that as designers we get is everything in our room is for sale.
Mhm.
So, if you were walking by mine, I'll lean over to the right, every single piece of those clothing were for sale. The pink flower in the window was for sale. You have there's paintings and artists that bring stuff in, and everything is for sale. And all of the money again goes back towards the charity, correct?
Well,
Or-
80%. You as the
Right.
you
Mhm.
retain 80%.
So that's why the preview party is a really great event to go to, because you are one of the first to get through the house and see things. So honestly, that beautiful sofa in one of the rooms has not sold yet.
Mhm.
So you can buy it, or you can buy the curtains or whatever else in various different rooms. So whether you're buying something from the boutiques, which is more sort of gift oriented, or if you're buying something in the house, 20% of the sales goes back towards our goal of raising $2 million.
Wow. Impressive. Go ahead.
So Jill, you mentioned the pool being a sponsor, and so the mansion gets very generous sponsors. Benjamin Moore is
Mhm.
one, and they donate all the paint that all the designers get to use throughout the house. Do you ladies have a list of the other sponsors, or did I throw you to the wolves on that one?
I saw Susan Farsi interior design, but I'm sure there's
Yes.
plenty of other
Oh, yeah.
people
She is
too.
designing a
Yes.
bedroom.
Okay.
She's actually she's in the bedroom next to me.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's right.
I'm quickly
She's in the bedroom
going
next to
to
me.
our website.
Right.
Which is
Da-da-da.
Mansioninmay.org.
perfect.
We will list that in the video. I'll make sure the producer, when he edits out the realtor,
All right.
puts
Here
in
we
the
go.
information for the website. Go ahead, Mary.
Benjamin Moore, Lixel, Artistic Tile, Cravat, Wolf Sub-Zero and Cove, Denta Trading, Design NJ, The Tile Shop, Garden State Tile, Exceptional Flooring, Foley Rentals, Interchange Technologies, Atlas Marble and Granite, LF Driscoll, that's MD Tile and Granite, Epic. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
So there's a full list on the website, and what they'll do is they'll donate like a portion of the cost to something. So if you see the light that is in my room that's above my head.
Mm.
That is from Visual Comfort. Visual Comfort gives a discount to the designers to put pieces into their rooms. Exceptional Flooring does a donation with regards to you're not paying full price because a lot of what goes into these mansions, we as designers are paying for. But the benefit is it's like having a pop-up showroom. So when you're doing a really fun thing for charity, you're meeting clients, you're meeting other designers, and you get that pop-up showroom. So it's kind of a fun thing. You get a lot of a higher tiered client, which
Yeah.
is nice. I've had some really great clients come out of this. And it's fun. Again, even your vendors. So I'm like, I'll contact my vendor and say I'm putting something in, and I won't have to pay full price. I can get discounted rates for what goes in there, so that we don't have to have such a big fee that goes in there. But we also get a lot of fun opportunities to be creative and do things that we are the boss. We get to put what we want in. We don't have to listen to what the client wants. We can go a little off the reservation, get into some trouble.
Good points.
Well, and as you said, Wendy, there will be on average 22,000 people come through the mansion to see it. So it is an incredible showcase for designers and landscapers to be a part of this, because that's 22,000 pairs of eyes looking at their spaces.
And it lives on beyond that, because we have a website where we put up the designers, both landscape and interior. They stay up for a year from the time we put them up. And we do a coffee table journal, which is, oh yeah, that's
Yes,
great.
I read about that too. Tell us more.
Yeah. So this is a journal where we explain what our cause is. We explain we have a retrospective of all the mansions that we've held over the last 50 years. We give a picture because so many people like to point out, oh, I've been to that mansion. Oh, I remember this. I remember the room in that. And then we also put all the renderings in from the designers. So when Wendy sent in her rendering of her closet, that will be in the book. So if you're a guest and a year from now or 6 months from now, you say, gee, I really love that closet, but I can't remember who did it. You pick up your coffee table journal and you find Wendy's name.
And they are collector books. I have all of mine.
Mhm.
This is actually my fifth one. I didn't make it in, but this is my fourth one. So you don't always get in. You definitely have to have a concept that a committee again will also pick from. And then what a lot of people will do is we have professional photos taken. And as soon as that photo is done, you get your picture, you run to a place and they make little postcards. And those postcards each are in each room. And then they can take a postcard, they stick it in, and now they have another piece to remember. And you see people walking around with their books and all these postcards are hanging out.
It's true.
And you also get a shopping list. So as everyone is preparing the rooms, they're also preparing a shopping list that the mansion ladies then get. And so there's a committee for that as well. And they track what is for sale. So as you walk through, you pick what you want. You get to the end of the tour and you say, is this still available? I would like to buy it. I believe you pay at that point.
You
And
pay at
then
designer sales.
someone comes to our room and crosses it off. It's no longer for sale. Or I could say, I have that denim jacket over my shoulder. That's for sale in 4 different sizes, and reorders are available. And then they will, as it's going down, once it's no longer available, it's no longer available. And then on June 1st or 2nd, we run into the room, we bag it all up. The homeowners get to walk through the house again, and then they get to take their bag of goodies.
Oh my goodness. I
So
love
we
this.
are tracking everything. And I would say, what do you think, ladies? I'm going to think 90% of what goes into a mansion comes back out.
Meaning by the designer or sold?
By the designer. So I was lucky this year, this closet stayed behind.
You mean what's put in? I see what you mean. You don't got it. Well, in that regard, once the house is done and decorated, the owner gets to go through the house and say, oh, I love that wallpaper. It can stay. But if the owner says, don't like that wallpaper so much, it needs to come down, then the designer has to remove the wallpaper and paint the room the neutral color that was chosen by the owner. So it varies in how much stays and how much goes. It just depends on the owner and what they're looking for and what they like.
And sometimes the owner will work with you.
I was going to ask, do they have any
regards
input?
to-
Yeah, in the beginning or no?
If it is a permanent installation, the designer works with the owner because it's permanent, it's going to stay there. But if this is just a room that, I can decorate it however I want to, then maybe the owner might like the paint color or might like the wallpaper and it can stay. But otherwise, everything has to come out and the room has
Yeah.
to be painted back to that neutral color and back to the way it was, usually better than when it
Yes.
started.
Jill, are we okay on time, or are we
We're
going a
good on
couple
time.
minutes over?
Go, go, go.
Okay.
We're good. What else about Mansion May did you want to discuss? We do have 3 more minutes left.
So you can buy your tickets now, and they said right now they are a little bit less expensive, and you can also donate.
And there's group sales too. I saw that.
Correct. And this one is in Chester, correct, or Mendham?
Correct. This is Chester.
Chester.
The last one was Mendham.
Chester,
Well-
because you know why? Because I looked how far I live from where it is. I want to come and see it. I'm like April
That's
10th.
great.
Well, think of
You're
this.
welcome. I'm all the way
Jill,
out
think
on
of it
Long
this
Island.
way.
Go ahead.
You only have to drive to Mendham
Yes.
because parking for Mansion in May is
Oh,
in Mendham
they bus
at
you?
80 West Main Street in Mendham. And then you park your car and then you get onto an Atlantic Health System shuttle bus,
Oh,
which will
wow.
take you to the mansion because we could not park all
Oh.
those cars on site.
Jill, if
Oh.
you want to go, I will get you a ticket.
Thank you so much.
We want to
No,
know
I-
what day you're coming so we can make sure we make a deal.
I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's 88 miles from my house. So I guess depending on, timing, right? But thank you so much, ladies.
It's the entire month, though, so it's the
I know.
entire month
But
of
I saw
May.
April 10th. Is that like the initial cocktail party? What was the April 10th I saw before?
No, not April 10th. The initial
Some-
cocktail party is April the 26th.
Okay.
6.
26.
Oh my goodness. All right. I saw it wrong. Sorry. But obviously people want to reach out to you one more time. I'm going to ask your website, your social media pages, and then Wendy, of course, I'm going to ask the same for you.
So we are mansioninmay.org. Our website has everything you need, whether you want to buy tickets or just learn more or donate would be lovely. And
Volunteer. We need
volunteer would be
volunteers.
wonderful. We need volunteers to
Volunteers, Jill, are docents that will sit in the room if the designer cannot be there, and they become your tour guide.
Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me. Thank you.
Well, we also use volunteers in admissions. They actually take your ticket. In parking, they show you where to park. In the cafe where they serve sandwiches, in landscape. We need a lot of volunteers to pull this off. We probably need about 700 people or people working different shifts during the month of May.
Wow. Well, I'm excited that you guys are here. Wendy spoke very highly of you all in the past and showed me obviously her work from the past, which you can see her right now in the beautiful closet she's in. Wendy, and just curious, how did you get involved with everyone with Mansion in May?
A long time ago, the Blairsden we had seen is when I saw the very first time that this event happened and submitted a design and then walked through the preview and so forth. And I didn't get in that one, but I'm like, I got to try again. And so the Abbey was my very first one. I did it with SSS Closets and just did something really unique. It was like a fun craft room that just made out of closet parts. So it was a very interesting project. So once you're in, you were always on the list to call and find out. You find out a lot about this from Design New Jersey through social media.
And how do we find you, Wendy?
Timeless Closets and Cabinetry is for my website, my Instagram, my Facebook, and LinkedIn as well. So Wendy at timelesscc.com.
Awesome. Well, I thank you all for being here, for joining us. Wishing you the best of luck with this amazing project. And as you mentioned, raised over $14 million the past how many years?
50 years.
Cool. Amazing. And continuing to do so. And I got to thank you to all your sponsors out there who are working hard, and Wendy Scott again for bringing everyone together to promote this even more. And I really hope to get out there. I will keep in touch with Wendy. And I would love I can't wait to see it. I mean, I'm excited the way it looks now when I don't even see what you're doing inside because it's just a beautiful piece of property. But
Make sure you find Mary and I when you come to visit. We'd love to meet you in person.
same here. Same for me and Wendy. Thank you so much. And Wendy, how do you want to close it out?
That's thank you, Mary and Barbara. We will send you a recording of this later, and we hope to see everyone at the mansion in May.
Thank you so much.
You all.
Thank you. Have a great day. Goodbye, everyone.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.